But guess what? That's why I did.
Yes.
And see, it's important for me to for you to understand that little girl sitting over there was really the strategic part of God's blessing to show me that He'll take a mess and turn it into the best thing ever for your life.
My God.
See, Lauren, I'm not married, so in the eyes of everybody, that's not a clean thing. But how many know when you ask God for forgiveness, He makes everything in your life clean again? And that child had nothing to do with the act that I chose to do. When I asked God for forgiveness, everything in me at that point became clean. That means her life became clean because He strategically made sure I found out 2 weeks after conception that I was pregnant with her.
Yes.
Who finds out that, right? Most people go, some go, I heard all pregnancy and never know. But I knew 2 weeks after, because God knew I needed to tell the doctors, you got to take me off this medicine because it will kill that baby.
My God, yes.
God said, that's not your child, that's mine, and whether you want to have it or not, you are going to have it because I planted a seed in you. Because since you wanted to make the chaos in your life, I'm going to make it work for my good. They call my daughter church baby. They say, I'll get you right. No, that little girl will get you right. Because there are times when I'll sit in my house, sometimes I'll be in so much pain, and she'll be like, Mom, if God is for us, whosoever can be against us? She said, and then she'll say, Mama, you don't need that medicine. Mama, I'm going to pray for you. And she comes up to me and she lays her hands on my legs, and suddenly I feel a little better. And suddenly I'll say, well, you know what? Forget you, Viking, and I don't need you anymore. And I'm not saying don't use medicine because I don't want anybody to say that I'm saying don't do that. You use wisdom and let God guide you. But I know that I used to take 62 pills a day.
My God.
Of different medications just to be able to walk. They said I wasn't going to be able to walk again.
Come on.
I didn't have 2 surgeries on both of my feet. They said you wasn't going to be able to breathe without oxygen, but here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am because the grace of God
yes, Lord.
is sufficient enough for me. And how many of you know that sometimes God has to cause chaos in your life to bring clarity to all of the mess?
Yes.
To show somebody that He will sustain you. He will rescue you. And that the opinions of other people cannot determine what God has for you. I don't have to worry about what you got, or what anybody else got. Because what God has for me is going to be for me. And I used to worry about, well, God, why am I not getting this? I'm in church every Sunday. Why am I not feeling you loving on me? Why am I not feeling this feeling that the elders of the church had? Because I'm sitting in church and I just really don't want to be here, but I came because if I'm missing, somebody's going to say, baby, where have you been? So it became like, okay, let me get up and just go to church so I don't have to deal with it when I do decide to go to church, right? Then suddenly somebody said, don't fake this thing anymore. Get what you got to get from God and leave. Because I used to stay around and listen to everything. And when you start listening to everything after church, the whole message goes away because you're listening to gossip here. You're listening to this one saying, I didn't understand the message there. And you know, Mama said, get what you got to get and go home. You don't see me staying around here. When I'm finished, I'm out of the door. And it stuck with me. Because God blessed me with a car, so I didn't have to ride with nobody to church anymore, right? So I can go get what I need to get, and then I can pack my baby up and we can go up out the door before you can reach me with some mess. And that stuck with me. Wow. Because little did I know there was another transition that was going to happen. God said, see, you became comfortable here. So now because you became comfortable here, I got to make this even more chaotic to make you leave. Because if you don't leave, you're never going to walk in your purpose.
Jesus.
Sometimes you have to understand that you can be in a church out of formality because it's your family's church. Because your best friend goes to that church. Because the best friend that led you back to Christ goes to that church. And so you didn't realize that all you needed to do was get what God needed to give you and then move on. But you become comfortable. Because nobody's calling you out on your mess. You can sit in church Sunday after Sunday, wearing that.
You see?
And nobody loves you enough to say, you ain't living right. Because as long as I look the part and I come dressed in the garments that look like I am saved, then that means I'm saved. Well, that lady sitting back there knows the truth, and she would say, yeah, you know you playing around, and you need to stop because. And finally, she just said, "Move away from me. I can't have you near me like this because you're comfortable in being in your mess." There was a period of time where I would be like, "But she hurt me. How could she hurt me?" And she says she loves me. But how tough love has to hurt, because if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't cause you to heal. Come on. If everybody agrees with your mess, you will never find the strength to heal.
Come on.
Now, some would say, well, you used to be in that lifestyle, and do you now think that everybody else is wrong in that lifestyle? You do what you want to do. I ain't judging you about what you do, but what I'm not going to do is send my soul to hell for the very thing God never had for me. See, because we become soul ties into people who were never meant to be in our lives, and we give them too much power over us. And what happened was, opinions of people became my opinion of myself.
Yes. My Jesus.
So when the chaos started to happen in my life, it wasn't because Linda thought she wasn't able to make it out. Y'all said I couldn't make it out, so that meant I was never going to make it out. And most of the time, it's the people that we live in the same household with.
Okay.
And I'm going to lose some family members, maybe some friends after this, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because I made up in my mind that as long as Jesus doesn't leave me, I don't need anybody else to agree with anything I have to say. That became the issue, because when my sister in Christ, my spiritual family, they're kind of family that they tell it like it is, whether you like it or not. They don't cover up nothing. And if you don't like it, you got a choice. You either talk to them or you don't. They ain't going to lose no sleep over it. Matter of fact, they're going to get up probably a little bit later that you ain't calling them with your mess. No more. See, because she'll ignore my text messages, and I'll send her like a 4-page letter of whatever, and Mama Walker won't answer, okay? And then some days when she does answer, I'm like, okay, Jesus, was that you that made that answer? Because she wasn't talking to me. Yeah, so, but how many of y'all know that when they're not answering, it's because they're praying? They're too busy praying to answer your mess because they're hoping one day you'll figure out why they can't just talk to you right now.
Yes, Lord.
Because see, just like when my mama died and my mother died, I had this whole plan that they were going to live. If my grandmother dies, then I'll love my mother because I don't have no choice. She'll be the one to love me when everybody else in my family or whomever leaves me. But see, how did y'all know that God will take away the very things, your plans, you want to make them laugh? Tell them what your plans are, because my mother died 5 days after my 19th birthday. And 6 years later, I would lose the very thing that meant everything to me. He said, so now what you going to do? I said, when my mother died, I ran to the streets. But when my grandmother was dying, there was preparation because we knew she was going to go. Yes. And God made it so I had to take care of her. She went back to like a child. And I said, maybe there's some redemption here because I didn't love her enough when she could love me back. But maybe there's some redemption here because now I can show her, Mama, all you put in me must come out. And she said, no, this ain't what I put in you. This is the seed I asked God to plant in you. And they say dementia, that means they lose their mind. But my grandmother still had the mind to know that God was with her even in that moment.
Say that.
She said, don't you cry for me. Don't you shed not one tear. But I'm not going to be here on my 85th birthday, so y'all can do what y'all want to do. But y'all better get ready for me going home to be with God.
My God.
Well, how many of y'all know Mama died 5 days before her 85th birthday?
Wow.
But I had prepared for what was going to take place. And when my friend came to take me to get a drink, because I guess that's the answer to everything, let's go drink. Because when my mother died, that bottle was my friend. That bottle, them women, them men, whatever I could find. Because I was chasing after, why didn't I love her while she was breathing?
Right. Yes.
I told her I loved her 3 days before she died, but I don't think that was for me. I think that was for her. I think God knew. But I can honestly say I meant what I said to her then. How is it that I honor my mother more in her death than I ever did when she was living? amazes me, because I look at, like, even in her chaotic life of not raising me, of being in the streets, she tried so hard to prove to me, I'm not trying to be your mother, but I want you to understand I didn't reject you because I wanted to. I gave you to the very person I knew that could raise you. And why are you listening to your family who said I left you? Because I didn't leave you. I told them to take you home to my mama. And that's sometimes God has to say, I've got to take you home to somebody who can take care of you, because if you're out there, you're going to kill yourself. If you're in the wrong hands, they will kill you. So you go get in these relationships, because these relationships feel good for the moment. Yeah. But then all this chaos starts to happen.
Yes.
And you get mad with God. God didn't tell you to go be with that man. God didn't tell you to go get in that relationship with that woman. God didn't even tell me to put this woman's name on my arm. But then I get mad at him because I have to look at it every day. He was like, you was the one that was stupid enough to go let them do that. And so now you want to get mad at me. Get mad at yourself. Mad at yourself enough to heal from the drama you caused yourself. Wow. See, we want to blame everybody else for the drama in our lives. But see, I take ownership that it was me that caused all the chaos in my life. Because I didn't have to do it. But I chose to do it. See, there's a difference when you know that